The government has already begun its outreach on the presidential elections. BJP Chief Amit Shah met Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray, urging him to come on board. Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu also held talks with Samajwadi Party's Ram Gopal Yadav and Naresh Agarwal. However, BJP is tight-lipped over its candidate and will likely announce it on June 20th.
BJP Chief Amit Shah met Uddhav Thackeray at his Mumbai residence to win the Shiv Sena support on the presidential candidate. According to reports, Uddhav refused to budge from his party's position. Let the BJP first consider the two names proposed by it. If not, declare the presidential face and then seek support.
The Shiv Sena president is learned to have insisted again on the name of RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat, saying that on the lines of Hindutva, somebody like Mohan Bhagwat should be made the presidential candidate. The Shiv Sena president also insisted that if the BJP has any names with the suggestions of the name of Mohan Bhagwat, then eminent agriculture expert MS Swaminathan's name should also be considered for that post.
Clearly, the much-awaited meet at Matoshri, attended by CM Fadnavis and Uddhav's son, Aditya Thackeray, failed to yield any result. Shah's meeting with Uddhav was purely a matter of coalition politics and not so much for the votes. The numbers are in favor of the NDA, and the opposition has also promised support if a credible secular face is chosen as the next president.
Support for the presidential election.
Amid the tussle within the NDA, the BJP Parliamentary Board is likely to meet next week to decide the presidential face. The candidate will most likely be announced before the Prime Minister goes abroad.
24 को प्रधानमंत्री जी विदेश जा रहे, तो इसलिए इसके पहले ही निर्णय होना और बाकी पार्टियों को भी बताना और नामांकन दाखिल करना, ये सब प्रक्रिया है, मगर अभी तक डेट पक्का नहीं हुआ, मगर जैसा आपने कहा उसके पहले ही हो जाए.
The BJP is apparently upbeat after an assurance of support from key ally Lok Janshakti Party.
तो सब लोगों को मिलजुल करके क्या कहते हैं कि साथ में आना चाहिए. राष्ट्रपति का पद संवैधानिक पद है, उस पद पर क्यों राजनीति करते हैं.
After Ram Vilas Paswan, Venkaiah Naidu held discussions with opposition Samajwadi Party leaders on presidential polls. Even as another BJP panel member Arun Jaitley held talks with TMC and BJD leaders to build a consensus on the presidential election and avoid voting. With Kamlesh Sutar in Mumbai, I'm Anindo Banerjee for India Today.
All right, so joining me on this is Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Dr. Nasir Hussain, spokesperson of the Congress, and Gopal Krishna Agarwal, the national spokesperson of the BJP. All right, let me start with you, Mr. Agarwal. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav has already said that he is ready to support the BJP or the NDA's candidate if he is a secular candidate. What was the need to talk to Mr. Ram Gopal Yadav and Mr. Naresh Agarwal? Are you now trying to woo both the factions of the Samajwadi Party?
No, actually what the president has very clearly said that we want a consensus candidate on the presidential post. Therefore, it's an outreach. Then we are meeting everybody. The panel which has been formed by the president of Shri Arun Jaitley ji, Venkaiah ji, Rajnath ji, they are meeting everybody, and after meeting everybody, build a consensus. This is an exercise in consensus also, so that we have a better relations, better terms with the opposition.
Has the name been decided? What is it that you tell your allies? I mean, Shiv Sena very clearly said that you either tell us the name of your ally, of your candidate, we will think about that. You have not been able to get Shiv Sena on board, isn't it?
No, but if we have decided a name and tell the name beforehand, then that's not an exercise in consensus. It is taking the name suggestions from every party. Then parliamentary board will sit and decide, as has been said, because we cannot
let me get Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari on this. Mr. Tiwari, again, two voices seems to be coming out of the Samajwadi Party as far as the presidential polls are concerned. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav has already announced that he is going to, he is ready to support the NDA, provided a secular candidate. What's the view of the Akhilesh camp?
Well, it is not about view of one camp versus another. When the time comes, the entire party will speak in one voice. And when we are talking about consensus at a national level, I don't think factions matter.
Is there a name that the Samajwadi Party also has that you would like to suggest?
No, we are taking our role responsibly, and we are not taking the lead here. It is the government who's taking the lead. The agenda that Samajwadi Party has requested is that the candidate is someone who can uphold the idea of India, which is under serious threat given what has been going on across the country, and it is the person who the BJP and NDA suggests. It is on the name of that person a consensus has to emerge.
Okay.
There has been some doubts, questions about who that person would be, and we are waiting and watching what comes out of it.
Mr. Hussain, would I be wrong if I say that the Congress and the UPA has completely been cornered by the NDA and the BJP on this one? Although this consensus exercise is going on, but let's not forget that the NDA already has a lead. They already have the number of votes that are required. Is the Congress going to put up a candidate just for the sake of the fight, or it's more or less is in NDA's favor, isn't it?
Ankit, I want to make 2 points here. One, if the NDA has the numbers, and if the NDA has the numbers, they should go ahead and announce their candidate, which they have not done, and which they are trying to arrive at some sort of a consensus for the presidential candidate. That is point number one. Point number two is, it is not just the Congress party. The whole opposition, the entire opposition has come together. In the first meeting in Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad's house, there were 9 parties. And then when Mrs. Gandhi called for a meeting, then there were 17 parties. They have formed a committee of these 17 parties, and these committees looking into as to how we should fight the election, or whether it has to be a consensus or non-consensus, whether there should be an election, who the candidate will be. So it is up to the union government or the NDA to put up a candidate, to announce a candidate. Then the opposition parties will take a call on that.
Is the UPA still hoping that they would be able to utilize this sort of a squabbling that is going on in the NDA, especially with this Shiv Sena? Do you believe that you still are in the game to give NDA some sort of a problem as far as this poll is concerned?
Ankit, see, we are going to elect the next president for the country. He will be the president for the entire country. So every political party which has been there in the country, which has been doing politics, which have taken ideological positions on various issues, will have to be there in the fray. Will have to think about the presidential candidate, which will have to be there in the entire exercise. Okay. Whether someone has numbers, someone doesn't have numbers, how you will get to the numbers, which political parties will support you, whether there are some political parties from NDA which will come out and support our candidate. These things are all speculations. We will have to wait first for the NDA candidate to be announced. Then our committee is there. The committee will look into it. Then they will see which candidate we have to put. Whether we should arrive with a consensus within our the entire opposition. Okay. Then let there be why is somebody so this thing that there should be consensus only without why is someone trying for that? Let there be an election. What is there?
Mr. Agarwal, Shiv Sena has already been saying that they would like to see RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat to be named as the president candidate. Today we saw some posters outside the BJP headquarters wanting LK Advani to be announced as the presidential candidate. What's the harm? Is there some sort of a reservation that the BJP has in announcing Mr. Bhagwat as the presidential candidate?
Definitely.
You feel you would not?
When Mr. Bhagwat himself has said that I am not in the race, I don't want to contest an election, I don't want to be the president, and you see the structure of
what
RSS.
Mr. Advani?
Mr. Advani, that the party will decide. Nobody is out of the race or nobody is in the race from the party behalf.
Your MP Shatrughan Sinha had tweeted earlier and he said that he would like...
Shatrughan Sinha has been talking on out of turn on every issue that we...
So why is he still in the party, sir?
No, that is a different... That's the beauty of BJP, that there is a democracy in our party. Everybody has a right to speak.
Okay.
But then the final decision is with the parliamentary board.
Yes.
And nobody is out of the race, nobody is in the race. Everybody from the nation, the party will consider. The beauty of consensus is that when you have a sufficient comfortable number, then you go out and build a consensus. If you are not in a position to tell anything, what is consensus?
I have to take a small break as of now. I'll come back and we'll try and get a sense of who could that consensus candidate be from all our guests. All right, if I can quickly go across to Mr. Ghanshyam Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, presuming that there is some sort of a demand for Mr. Advani to be named as the candidate from the NDA, what will be the stand of your party? Because I'm just trying to find out what sort of a candidate would be a consensus candidate.
Well, I would not like to speculate on this matter right now. Let it play out. I think BJP would come out with a name on 23rd. The opposition is very clear about a candidate who can truly uphold the ethos of constitution and really live up to the responsibilities and role model that a President of India should be. So we would wait it out before we speculate.
Is there any discussion between within the party about the kind of candidate that you would want to see?
Obviously, there is going to be a discussion, and the discussion is ongoing. But it is not about names, and the discussion is at a much broader frame. The entire opposition has discussed at two different major meetings. So, but I don't want to speculate on names, and do not want to dismiss the idea of consensus.
Okay.
BJP is trying it out.
If I can come to you, Mr. Hussain. What is the Congress party's view? Who or what sort of a candidate would be an ideal candidate for you to be, you to give your support or have a consensus candidate as far as the presidential candidate is concerned? If it comes from somebody who is, let's say, an RSS lineage or somebody from the BJP, will that be acceptable to the Congress?
See, we are discussing about the president of the country, the head of the government, the head of the country. So the candidate should be widely acceptable to a large section of the population in the country. He should be in a position to uphold the constitution. He should be in a position to protect the idea of India, which has emerged after a long struggle and after many sacrifices of many Indians who fought for the freedom of this country. So that kind of candidate is desirable.
Let me put it out straight to you. Would Mr. Advani be acceptable to the Congress party if that is the case?
I don't want to discuss candidates here. You asked me.
I'm sure.
What
so
kind
I'm giving out a name to you. Would you like? I would just want to get your opinion whether Mr. Advani would be acceptable.
See, it is. Ankit, it is not Dr. Nasir Hussain sitting on a panel and deciding who is acceptable and not acceptable, and it is also not for the Congress party to decide who is acceptable and not acceptable. Here we have a committee of the combined opposition. The combined opposition is looking into the candidates. The combined opposition will also look into what kind of candidate the NDA government will propose in a couple of days.
Yes. What and who, according to you, could be a candidate that could get you that sort of a consensus that we are talking about? If the opposition would have a problem, let's say, with somebody from the RSS lineage or somebody from the BJP, because they believe that it is, they want a candidate who can uphold the idea of India, as it has been said that it is under attack as of now. Both our gentlemen said the same sort of a thing. What is the consensus, or what sort of an idea is the BJP right now thinking about before it puts it out in the public?
No, actually we want to have the opinion of the opposition parties. We have sufficiently comfortable number with regard to the presidential polls.
Where is Mamata Banerjee, BJD, where are they standing on this?
No, but the people are even this Mulayam Singh Yadav ji has also said his support to the BJP candidate, NDA candidate,
Okay.
and President Amit Shah has also went.
All right,
to
I'm sorry.
Shiv Sena.
I'm sorry. I have to intervene right now. It's a bad news for Indian cricket fans. India has lost the match. The finals, in fact, there at the Champions Trophy at the Oval against Pakistan. Let me quickly cut across to my colleague Shobit, who is waiting with more news.
Yes, thanks Ankit. Yes, it is cricket, it's just sport, but only one word can describe Team India's defeat against Pakistan in the final of the Champions Trophy, and that's humiliation. Yes, the margin of defeat was 180 runs in a final of a major ICC event. This is India's worst defeat against Pakistan in an ODI match ever. How did this happen? Let me go across to Boria Majumdar, consulting editor, who's live from outside the Oval in London, the venue of today's final. Boria, where did India lose the match? Was it the toss? First up, where Virat Kohli won the toss and handed the initiative to Pakistan to put on that mammoth total on the board, or was something simply wrong with the attitude, with the captain saying this is just another cricket match? Did India underestimate Pakistan heading into this final?
Everything went wrong for India. You've got to ask some hard questions, Shobit. You are asking hard questions and you're very right in doing so. Jasprit Bumrah's no ball, and before that, look at this. I mean, Himanshu will show you, Pakistan fans have gone completely bonkers here. You know, they're singing Mauka Mauka, it's their day, they're partying. And very justly so. It's been an abject surrender from India, and it's pretty disastrous. I mean, some real hard questions need to be asked. I mean, how many times will India pick wickets in a no ball? Why don't you practice such stuff? In, you know, Hardik Pandya in the last game, Jasprit Bumrah in this match. Then you concede 340, 25 overs, Pakistan was 130 odd. So in the last 25, you conceded 200 plus runs. Jasprit Bumrah off colour. Ravichandran Ashwin, has he played one of his last one-day internationals? Pretty listless. Not the best man on the park. 10 overs for 70 runs. Ravindra Jadeja, flat batting wicket, again listless. You've got to ask some serious questions. Why didn't Virat Kohli ask Kedar Jadhav earlier? Kedar Jadhav bowled pretty well in the last match, 6-22-2. When he got here, he got picked a wicket in the first two, and then you bowled him for the 45th over where he conceded 16 runs. So it was a pretty bad bowling performance. Having said that, if you saw the way Hardik Pandya batted, Shobit, this was a batting belter.
Absolutely
all
right.
You needed, and we kept saying in the mid-innings show that all you needed was to bat the first 10 overs. And Virat Kohli, master of the run chase, first 5 edges to Azhar Ali at slips. Come on, calm down, get the overs out. Mohammad Amir is the only strike bowler, and once Amir is done, it will become a batting beauty. The captain plays away from the body, 2 down in the first 5, 7 for 2. Yuvraj Singh never looks the part. When is the last time Yuvraj Singh won you a match? That match against Pakistan was an aberration. Mahendra Singh Dhoni. 2019 World Cup is far too away for Yuvraj Singh and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. You can ask very serious questions. Kedar Jadhav, is he a match winner? Most importantly, when Hardik Pandya was going great guns, what was Ravindra Jadeja thinking? It was his call. He ought to have stepped out. And if he did not step out, then he better sacrifice his wicket. For 76 or 43 for Hardik Pandya, it was disastrous.
You're spot on there, Boria, on each and every point. But Nikhil...
You will find many such loonies on the show, so don't worry about it.
No, we completely ignored them. It is, after all, just a cricket match. We remember that. Let's keep it civil. Message to all Indian and Pakistani fans out there. However, Nikhil, it is a shameful defeat in each and every sense. Where did India lose the match? Was it the toss?
Well, I guess, in the Champions Trophy, Team India was chasing pretty well. And the way Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma were going, Virat Kohli, we all know, enjoys chasing. But, in a big game, final game, runs on board, it makes a difference. Make no mistake about it, it makes a difference. During the mid-inning show, we said, the 300 runs were chaseable. It's, had you batted sensibly, we've been saying it right from the word go.
Had you batted sensibly, but Hardik Pandya scored 74 runs. India got out on 158. Half the runs of the team Hardik Pandya has scored.
I'll get to Hardik Pandya in a way. First 10 overs, we all knew Pakistan's strength was their fast bowling. You handle that new ball, let the shine get off. You tell me one ball that moved.
Yep.
Not taking anything away from Hardik Pandya. I think batted beautifully. Somebody had to be with him so that you could just take the attack to the opposition. Nothing. We were in a bit too much of a hurry. I think Boria is right about asking questions. I was a little surprised, with Ashwin bowling the kind of line. I haven't seen him pick up wickets in a one-day game for a long period of time. A lot of people would say, well, maybe we're getting a little too harsh once you lose the final. It's fair enough. You have wins and losses. It's part of the sport. But you need to be competitive. What are the lines you're bowling? Body languages. You know, Jadeja, we say, is a good all-rounder. I mean, you know, you need to be aware of what the situation is. You've got your batting partner batting in 76. Ravindra Jadeja knocks one, ball watching. Looking at the fielder, running 3-4 steps down. Obviously, Hardik Pandya is going to be running towards the danger end. He needed to make a dash of it. And then he says no. And still he doesn't have the common sense to sacrifice his own wicket. Exactly. Because somebody on the other end was batting beautifully. At least, you know, he was taking the attack to the opposition. So, you know, when you want to be a world-beating side, you need to identify your problems when the chips are down. Who's aware? What is the professionalism when we talk about, you know, a lot of things get hidden when you keep winning. But a good side, a professional side, a world-beating side, you need to know their character when the chips are down.
What did the openers do wrong?
Well, I guess, you know, you got to hand it over. I think Ahmed, that first spell, Shobit, made a big difference. You know, the way playing outstandingly. You know, we thought that, you know, good batting conditions, the ball's not going to come back in. The way he got Rohit Sharma, that was phenomenal. The line that he bowled to Virat, you know, you got to hand it over to the Pakistan captain. They had identified, they had a plan for Virat as well. What is the channel that they're going to be bowling on? Off stump, just outside off stump, you know. And that kind of pace, it made a difference. Had we been looking to just leave a couple of deliveries, things would have been different. I know it's easier to say, sit in the studio and talk about it in hindsight, but no, honestly, when the chips are down, that shows the character of a team.
Absolutely right. But you're one who's played the game, so asking you all the tough questions over there. I mean, you know.
I personally felt, you know, 339. Had they been a little bit more sensible in the first 10 overs, this game could have been closer. 5-10 runs here and there, make a fight of it.
All it took, Nikhil, was 16 deliveries to India to remove India's in-form players of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. That's simply unacceptable.
It's the belief, it's the hunger. How hungry are you? You want to go out there and do something out of the ordinary. You know, when the chips are down, it also creates opportunity for a great comeback. I didn't see that, only I saw it from one person. Hardik Pandya, who wore his heart on his sleeve and was looking to fight for India.
So what's the mood on the streets of India? Let me bring in my colleague Shalini, who's joining me from the National Stadium. Shalini, how are fans reacting to this defeat?
Well, Shobit, it's a day over here at the National Stadium, but on the bright side, India did win a hockey match against Pakistan. However, the cricket match was a little disappointing. If I can ask a few fans here, what were you expecting from the team and how do you feel right now?
Well, before the match actually began, we all were like, you know, hope it won't be a boring game because we always know, you know, who wins. But I believe that sometimes it's important for such heartbreaks because these incidences actually wake you and shake you and also go to prove that you know, you're not invincible, and at the end of the day it's performance that matters. We should really credit the Pakistan team, and you know, we probably thought of them as underdogs. Indian team today felt like a pack of cards, Rohit, Shikhar and everybody, but I believe Pandya was still the last hope, and suddenly, you know, like we were little feeling alive. But then again, I feel that the run out that happened wasn't fair and maybe Jadeja could have sacrificed.
Well, a lot of people feel that that run out was not fair. He played really well. Pandya played very well, and I could see the enthusiasm in the crowd. Every time it was a six, people were dancing out here. Everyone was very, very, very happy, and a huge sigh when he was run out. Where did you feel the team went wrong?
Oh, so team went wrong right from the start. I think, you know, chasing 340, around 340 was always a big task. So somewhere, you know, on the bowling side as well, we goofed up. We gave lots of wides and no balls. So that was the error that we made. Still, I mean, India is known for its batting. So we thought that we will be able to, you know, achieve that total. However, you know, as she rightly mentioned, that the team started falling like a pack of cards. So this is exactly what happened. So certainly not a good, you know, India could not win. But the credit to the Pakistani team, they played really well, both on the batting and the bowling side.
Well, a lot of people giving credit to the great game that Pakistan put up today. Very well played. 339 runs was what they put out, and it was a little bit difficult for India to get 339 to win this match.
Absolutely right, Shalini. Now, this was a cricket match after all, yes, but what hurts, isn't it, is that this defeat came against our arch rivals Pakistan. This defeat came against a in a final of an ICC event. Is this the kind of performance we want to put out in an ICC final? Is this the team that can win India the 2019 World Cup, or do we need to seriously introspect the players that are going to put up India's challenge in the 2019 World Cup? What's the mood outside the stadium there, Boria, at the Oval? Obviously, Pakistani fans are overjoyed. What do the Indian fans want from this team going forward?
You know, the fact is the Pakistani fans are all over them. I mean, you know, the Indian fans are sort of gradually making their way home. And this is not about soft peddling. I mean, it's not about, oh, we had a bad day. We had a horrible day, and you've got to pinpoint this. Look, when we celebrate Team India's performance, we go gung-ho. And when they lose badly, it's important that we as journalists also be critical. Constructively critical, but critical. They played badly. Face it, they were poor. In bowling, 16 extra balls, 13 white balls and 3 no balls, which includes a wicket. You are giving Pakistan 3 extra overs to bat, which means you are giving 30 to 35 extra runs. That 335 odd could have been kept down to 300. Now, these are basic mistakes, right? You cannot do such mistakes in an ICC final. These are not mistakes that Pakistan took the game away from you. No, Jasprit Bumrah, Kedar Jadhav, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, the number of white balls, the number of no balls India bowled. And then come to the batting. Everybody knew, it is not rocket science, that Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Shikhar Dhawan need to do it. But, question, how many times will your top 3 win you games? What about Yuvraj? What about Dhoni? What about Kedar? How many times have they won you matches? It's very easy to come at 200 for 2 and then tonk a 50 or 40 odd balls. Come on, 7 for 2, 16 for 3 or 20 for 3. Come and play 100. When have you last seen a Yuvraj Singh 100? That England match in January. When have you last seen a Mahendra Singh Dhoni winning innings in a one-day match? I don't even remember that. Maybe in January against England. You've got to be consistent, and consistent for your country. Mahendra Singh Dhoni in a winning cause, I have forgotten. 2019 World Cup was the question you were asking. It's a very pertinent one. What about Krunal Pandya for Yuvraj Singh? The fielding has deteriorated. It's not even par, it's below par from Yuvraj Singh. It's not bowling. Virat Kohli did not even have the confidence when Pakistan was going gung-ho to go to Yuvraj Singh. The captain, you know, you've got to ask questions about bowling changes, about captaincy. Virat is the future, no debate on that. But does he have to make changes in this team? Yes. Yuvraj Singh, MS Dhoni, Ravichandran Ashwin, some big questions need to be asked if this is the team that's going to play the 2019 World Cup.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Boria. Virat Kohli is the future of Indian cricket. Nobody is going to question it. But does Virat need to introspect on his approach and the team's approach to the final, or should we just credit Pakistan? Of course, Pakistan was expected to come hard at India, but did the Indian batsmen put up a fight that they were expected to? The answer is a rank no. Let's quickly take a look at the visuals on how the Indian top order crumbled against Pakistan.
Of a side, the character of a player, you get to know when the chips are down. How does he get you out? What did Hardik Pandya do?
Which is why a big up for Hardik Pandya. Yeah. You know, when the whole team failed, he at least stood up on his end and he showed that the batting is not difficult on this pitch, isn't it, Nikhil?
No, not at all. No, I think this is probably one of the best batting tracks. You know, it didn't play like the English wicket at all. If anything, if it had any sort of moisture, it should have been, you know, in the first half when Pakistan batted 338. You know, kudos to them. You got to hand it over to them. Credit where it's due. Pakistan outplayed India without a doubt.
Obviously, we know emotions are riding high whenever India faces Pakistan, and of course, the Indian cricket fans will be disappointed today after this defeat to Pakistan, a humiliating defeat for Team India. And we are getting a quick update from Ranchi, where security has been updated and beefed up outside the home of MS Dhoni, former India captain. So security measures have been put in place. I'm sure such measures will be put in place for most of the cricketers. 7 policemen have been deployed outside his residence. But it's really disappointing that it has come to this, isn't it? Had it been a competitive final, Boria, fans would not have been disappointed. But the fact remains that it was a meek surrender. And what's hurting is that India were the defending champions. They were the favourites by any standards across by all experts. No one would have given Pakistan a chance heading into this final. And the defending champions have absolutely surrendered their crown to our arch rivals.
Absolutely. In fact, if you remember, Pakistan did not go to Zimbabwe fearing that if they lose to Zimbabwe, they will not qualify for the Champions Trophy. So they almost missed out. And for that Pakistan side to come here and win the Champions Trophy is commendable. Having said that, as I keep saying, you need to introspect and be constructively critical because it was a poor game. From the start, 3 overs 7, you lost out on Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman went on to get 100. That age, Jasprit Bumrah overstepping. Not the first time. Hardik Pandya missed out on a wicket last game. Jasprit Bumrah misses out on a wicket this game. And you handed the play to Pakistan. You gave them the confidence. They started building on it. They were one after the other misfields. Yuvraj Singh, couple of misfields. Not the best in the park. Ravichandran Ashwin never put any pressure. Ravindra Jadeja, listless again. Kedar Jadhav, after that 6-22-2, may have been brought to the attack earlier. Did not happen. And in batting, it was a meek surrender. You know, three batsmen will not win you tournaments or match after match after match. We all said, I asked Virat that question, that are you worried about the middle? Are you worried about the lower middle? He said everyone is looking for an opportunity. Sorry, they were not looking for an opportunity. Perhaps questions need to be asked about Kedar Jadhav's ability. As a batsman, questions need to be asked. Is Yuvraj Singh good enough at this stage to win you matches? 200 for 2, yes, a cameo or a 50 runs. But can he get 100 and win you a match from 20 for 3? Is Mahendra Singh Dhoni good enough to finish a match from 20 for 3 or 50 for 4? These are very serious questions that this Indian team needs to answer, and Virat Kohli needs to take a call on. As skipper, he will come here in 2019. You know, that's the call that Virat needs to take. But the Dhoni house security being beefed, that's nonsense. You know, fans should not overdo it. It's a cricket match, a defeat, you introspect, you be critical. But to have to boost security up in front of players' houses is ridiculous. That's going over the top a bit too far.
Yes, all the message to all Indian cricket fans out there. Yes, you are sad, you are disappointed. However, keep the security and situation under control. Do not harm the players or their families or attack their homes. But this is just a measure by the police forces to ensure no harm comes in place. And our Bureau Chief of Jharkhand, Dharamveer, has sent us this report. Listen.
हमारे पीछे ये है महेंद्र सिंह धोनी का घर, जिसकी सुरक्षा बढ़ा दी गई है। खासतौर पर टीम इंडिया का प्रदर्शन खराब होते ही धोनी की घर की सुरक्षा बढ़ा दी जाती है, क्योंकि जब भी टीम इंडिया का प्रदर्शन खराब होता है, धोनी खासतौर पर पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ, तो यहाँ पे पत्थरबाजी की भी घटनाएं हो चुकी है। हालांकि घर की ओर से या परिवार वालों ने कोई कंप्लेंट दर्ज नहीं किया है, बावजूद इसके प्रशासन ने यहाँ चौकसी बढ़ा दी है। अब ये बताएं कि कितने लोग हैं यहाँ, कितने लोग यहाँ पर?
यहाँ पर हम लोग 8 जवान हैं, 8 जवान को भेजा गया है और जैसा सिचुएशन होगा ऐसा फिर और को बुलाया जाएगा। हम अपने सीनियर को फ़ोन करेंगे, फिर वहाँ से वो आएंगे। तो जो भी सीनियर है हमारे साथ पेट्रोलिंग कर ही रहे, देख ही रहे हैं, और आगे भी लगाया गया है। जैसे कि हम लोग यहाँ 8 भेज दिया गया है और आगे भेज दिया गया है रिंग रोड में।
फिलहाल यहाँ पर 8 जवान तैनात किए गए हैं और जैसी स्थिति होगी उसके अनुसार यहाँ पर जवान तैनात किए जाएंगे।
All right, Dharamveer giving us that report that there is no security threat. This is just a precautionary measure taken by the force to ensure that there is peace around MS Dhoni's home. Let me bring in my colleague Rashesh Mandani now, who's joining me live from Mumbai. Rashesh, what do the fans want? Certain serious answers that Virat Kohli needs to answer.
Yes, it would, Shobit. I'm at Rohit Sharma's school, and his old home is not too far away. But fortunately, his home is fine, and I think a lot of other cricketers as well. I think some of the most fans around the country have matured. And the Indian team isn't coming back home; they're going straight to West Indies. So I think in that sense, the fans will get some time to get over this. But this loss was hurt every time Pakistan cheer a wicket. As they march towards victory, it would have hurt the Indian fan. It would have hurt, hopefully, everyone in the Indian dressing room as well. And they have got issues to sort. Sometimes, at the end of such defeats, the best voices come from the common cricket fans. So let's get straight in with some voices here. How much of a hurt is there, having sort of made all these arrangements, wanting India to win, and then to see this match finish in this fashion?
It's unfortunate for India, the way we batted. I think we should have batted first, and would have scored about 300 runs and given the batting to Pakistan in the second half. But unfortunately, we couldn't. The bowlers couldn't.
We could have done differently with the toss. What do you think? I mean, did you expect at halfway stage that India will come through, and how much did it hurt to see India surrender the manner in which they did?
It was very sad for us to see the condition of the game, but it's part of the game actually. Not every team has a winning time, every team.
Right. So where did India lose the game, you think?
I think the openers didn't start it that well, and we were having too much expectations from the players, whose the strength is the batting, you know. So that's the where.
It's not surprising. They've done well, and so the fans would expect. What do you think?
I think we lost the match during the first half. We lost quite early wickets because even our bowlers didn't perform very well. So I think that's the reason behind the loss.
So different voices, Shobit. Some of them quite interesting. Many of them think that India actually lost the game in the first half itself. And then, of course, there are others who believe that the openers could have done more. Some who believe that the captain could have thought differently at the time of the toss. But I think it's certainly a lot of thinking to do for the Indian dressing room. And Boria's right in saying that India team needs to start thinking on the 2019 World Cup. Whether Yuvraj Singh's just the man to go. But I think when India look to reflect upon someone like an MS Dhoni, they would also wonder if India's got a wicket keeper who's ready. Whether a Rishabh Pant or a Sanju Samson can be full-fledged keepers as well. If going back to Dinesh Karthik is the right option. If Virat Kohli can continue without the experience of MS Dhoni. And in the Indian dressing room as well, Shobit, questions would be asked if the coach and the captain were seeing eye to eye, whether the strategies were in place. So a lot of backstories that need to be explored. As the Indian dressing room itself would admit, this wasn't quite the tournament they wanted it to be.
You're spot on there, Rashesh. Some very important questions there, Rashesh asking as well, and we'll ask Nikhil to answer most of them. We'll continue to analyze India's humiliating defeat to Pakistan in the Champions Trophy final round. The superstars of Indian cricket, the defending champions at the Champions Trophy, today surrendered their crown to our arch rivals Pakistan in what was a humiliating defeat for Team India in the final at the Oval in London. And while our top order failed, there was only one hope. Hardik Pandya looked like he was batting on some other wicket altogether. His sense
to at least sacrifice his wicket.
Just look at how disappointed he was. So Hardik went for the run, but once Jadeja realized that one batsman is going to get out, why didn't Jadeja simply sacrifice his wicket? Jadeja was new on the crease, and this guy had been tonking the Pakistani bowlers, gave India some glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
But
but it's
bizarre.
When you talk about being aware of the situation as well, if you take a close look, the way he got out, pushed it through covers, kept watching the ball, and he ran 3-4 steps. That is why Hardik Pandya ran towards it, and then when he looked up, he realized he's not going to go for the run from halfway down, looking to send back Hardik. I think that's the time he should realize, I'm going to try and run on the danger end, maybe sacrifice my wicket, let Hardik continue. If nothing else, he could have probably hit a couple of more big blows, got 100, you never know what could happen. At least he would have entertained a lot more people, got a lot more competitive. But these are small little things that a professional side needs to continue to do. When you're down, when the chips are down, you need to start being a little more aware of how you can bounce back in the game.
Absolutely. It was a surrender of India's crown to Pakistan in the Champions Trophy final. We have to slip into another short break. After that, we go all across India. We go to Mumbai, New Delhi, Noida, to Ranchi, all other cities, and the Oval as well, and try and find out what Indian fans want from this team going ahead. Each and every Indian cricket fan would have been disappointed to lose the Champions Trophy final against Pakistan, but what will hurt more is the manner in which Virat Kohli and company surrendered their crown to the Green Brigade. Let's send out a message to all Indian cricket fans across the country to keep it civil. It is a cricket match, but hard questions need to be answered of Virat Kohli and his team going forward to the 2019 World Cup. Are these the men that can win India the World Cup? Let's hope it's all civil, Boria, at the Oval in London between both set of fans, Indian and Pakistanis.
It's sort of slightly getting out of control, which is why, if you can see, we've just moved locations a bit because it's getting slightly out of hand. Yes, celebrations are definitely par for the course for Pakistan. They've had a wonderful cricket game, but there's no need to overstep the line, is it? Not in India, not here, not anywhere, because ultimately it's a cricket game. Let me get a couple of Indian fans in. Disappointing, for sure. Ravindra Jadeja, some common sense. He should have sacrificed.
Simple common sense. He should lose his wicket and give the Pandya the chance to get it. There is a run there. He doesn't run there. He should lose his wicket. He sacrificed his wicket. So then Pandya can play. Doesn't matter win or loss, the different thing. But at least Pandya can bat.
You know, that's the point, that every Indian cricket fan today is despondent, they are hurt, they are demoralized. Having said that, there's no need to cross the line. That's some kind of madness going on. A couple of Indian journalists there, their cameras were stepped onto, which is unfortunate, which is not warranted at all. But coming back to cricket, serious questions ought to be asked, and important questions at that. You know, we celebrated Yuvraj Singh after the first Pakistan game, but the fact is, to come at 200 for 2, it's an easy job. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that Sri Lanka game, India was on par. He came and finished it off. 40 or 50 is very much par for the course in a one-day international. Having said that, 2 years down the line, is a MS Dhoni? Rasesh was asking this question, do we have a wicketkeeper? Will Rishabh Pant be a finished property come 2019? He will get 2017, he will get 2018, he'll get half of 2019. Do we see that as an investment for the future? Do you see Ravichandran Ashwin as par for the course? Or do you want Yuzvendra Chahal? Do you want another spinner in Kuldeep Yadav? These are important questions that the Indian cricket team needs to ask, because Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli will not win you the World Cup. You need depth. Yes, you have a Hardik Pandya. Why not a Krunal Pandya for a Yuvraj Singh? Why not a Rishabh Pant for an MS Dhoni? You've got to give these guys opportunities, because you know, no one's saying these guys are not legends. They are huge legends, an MS Dhoni or a Yuvraj Singh, but no one will play forever. You've got to think ahead. You've got to build the team for 2019, because this match will be played again. India will play Pakistan in the 2019 World Cup, and you want a different result, and you've got to start planning well in advance.
I think, Boria, you know, that's a very important point you raise, and the good thing is, you've got Dinesh Karthik, Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Rishabh Pant going to West Indies. And I just personally hope that Rishabh Pant gets a couple of games. If we are looking to invest in that young kid's future, we all know he's a special talent. I've seen him grow right from the junior cricket level, you know, here in Delhi. And the way he's gone on in first class cricket, got close to 1,000 runs in the first season that he's played. You know, phenomenal talent. But you need to groom the kids now. You're absolutely right. You know, you've got to give them time. Number of international matches to go out there and showcase their talent, so they can absorb the international exposures experience as well. If you want to get them ready for the big stage, I think this is the time. They're traveling to West Indies. I hope these guys get a game.
Absolutely right, Nikhil. And Boria, I'll just come back to you.